She gasped. Fearfully, she sank down in the chair. Let's see now. She sank down, struggling for breath. Sounds like she's drowning. She... It's a nice try, Captain, but definitely not for a family magazine.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well, don't let it spoil the pleasant mood you seem to be in this morning.
This arrangement of ours may not be as intolerable as at first it seemed.
Positively gallant.
My dear lady, I could have done much worse. At least we share a craving for privacy.
It's not just a craving, it's a requirement. The writer has to be alone.
Alone. What a lovely word. Positively musical. Do you remember Coleridge's Ancient Mariner? Alone, alone, all alone. Alone on a wide, wide sea. I'll impale his gullet on a marlinspike.
I know that's not from Coleridge.
Look, that buffoon Claymore. He's bringing a stranger here. Does he think that Gull Cottage is a public tavern? Madam, stand fast. I'm about to repel boarders.
So this is Gull Cottage. Well, it's everything I expected. Should we go in?
Wait, well, maybe we...
Well, what's the matter? Will Mrs. Muir mind?
Oh, she won't mind. Get down. No. On second thought, we better not. No, Mrs. Muir lets her pricksy. I mean, she prides her like a thing. Get down. Stop.
Now, Mr. Gregg.
Yes?
I paid you a fee in very good faith.
Oh, yes, the fee. Well, I'm awfully sorry, but maybe I can find you another house like this.
Oh. Mr. Gregg.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Gregg.
Well, as long as we're here. Come on.
Oh, hello, Mr. Gregg. We don't want any.
You see, they don't want any.
No, but I'm not selling anything. My name is Paul Wilkie. I've been studying New England architecture for years, and I have never seen a place like this. Did you know that Gull Cottage is an absolute find?
I didn't even know it was lost. What can I do for you, Mr. Wilkie?
Well, I'd like to come in and just look around, perhaps take a few pictures.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mrs. Muir's very busy.
Oh, I was afraid of that. We'd better go.
Mr. Gregg, never say die.
Oh, never.
I would like to speak to Mrs. Muir myself, if you don't mind.
All right. You might as well come inside.
Now, that is fascinating.
Claymore, Mr. Wilkie, and Mrs. Muir.
How do you do, Mrs. Muir? I beg you to let me take some pictures of this marvelous old house.
Well, I'm right in the middle of some very difficult work right now. I'm sorry.
Oh, I won't disturb you. I won't disturb you at all. I will be as silent as the grave.
Well, I've got to run away. I've got to run. Bye.
High strung, isn't it?
Yes. If you're here to take pictures for a magazine, I'm sorry, but the last thing in the world...
Oh, no. Oh, Mrs. Muir, no. They're for my own personal use. As a matter of fact, I think you're probably going to find that it's easier and faster to let me take my pictures than try and get rid of me.
Well, maybe the old goat is mellowing. No, he isn't.
Captain Gregg was sort of sour looking, wasn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, what I mean is, it's just hard for me to imagine that a man who looked like that could have built a home like this.
Mrs. Muir, it's high time I sent this lot packing.
Good idea.
Did you say something?
Oh, I was just thinking out loud.
Oh, yes. Well, now take this window seat, for example. It adds a very authentic touch.
Blast!
Well. Now for the rest of the house. Marvelous. To think that a house like this was wasted on an eccentric old seafarer.
It's certainly very insulting about a man you don't even know. I mean, you couldn't know because he's been dead for over 100 years.
Pardon me. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think he's going to take umbrage at this late date.
You've got to be careful. Martha just waxed the floors, and they're very slippery.
Yeah, she must have waxed the rugs, too.
Are you all right?
Well, I'm a little dizzy.
I'll get you a glass of water.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Mrs. Muir, why did you do that?
I'm terribly sorry, but it was an accident. It must have slipped.
Yes, you said the floors had been waxed. Yes. Mrs. Muir, I'm beginning to think that there's a very hostile presence in this house.
Oh, that's me. I mean, no. I'm not hostile. It's just that I did tell you I was busy, and I'm afraid you just have to go because I have to go to the library and do some research.
Oh, well then, perhaps I could come back later on.
No. Martha and the children are going to the movies with me afterwards, and we won't be back until late.
Oh, well then, how about just one more picture before I leave? Would that be all right?
All right, but just hurry, because we're ready to leave.
Yes, I will.
I'm terribly sorry.
That's perfectly all right, Miss Muir. Perfectly all right.
Please hurry, Mr. Wilkie.
I'm coming. I'll be right there.
So that's the lay of the land, is it?
What was that? That's what I thought it was.
Oh, that's good.
Well, good evening, Captain. It's nice to see you again. Oh, my foot. Well, show yourself. Why don't you show yourself? All right. All right. In the dark, then. Captain? Captain?
Eating fudge sundaes before bedtime gives you bad dreams. Remember the last time? You dreamed.
There's a strange man on the floor.
No, it was a bear.
Sure looks like a man.
Oh, it's Mr. Wilkie.
He was probably robbing the place. I knew there was something fishy about him. Now, careful, Mrs. Muir.
Oh, Mrs. Muir. Your children? They look just like you.
Well, he's the politest thief in town.
I bet Captain Greg caught him.
Oh, the poor man's delirious.
Well, he didn't say that. Jonathan did.
But it must have been Captain Greg.
See, he is delirious. Children, you get upstairs.
Aw.
Come on, right now. I'll be up in a minute.
Well, Buster, before I phoned for the police, how did you get in here?
Oh, I unlocked the window before I left.
He's not only a polite crook, he's honest.
A crook? Oh, no, Mrs. Muir. No, there's a complete explanation for everything.
You might start with your condition.
Mrs. Muir, I've been pummeled, punched, pinched, and pelted. Isn't it wonderful?
How do you take your coffee?
Black, with sugar.
That the way they serve it in Sing Sing?
I can assure you that my motives are really quite honorable.
That's nice to know. Watch the spoons.
What I have to say, I'm afraid, might have alarmed her, but you seem to be a very level-headed woman.
Well, let's start at the beginning. Just who are you?
No, my name is Paul Wilkie. Yes, that's my real name. But I'm not a student of architecture. I'm a parapsychologist. I look for ghosts.
You think there's a ghost here at Gull Cottage?
Mrs. Muir, I have devoted my life to the study of the spirit world, and I know that the ghost of Captain Greg is here. Now, well, for example, the sarcastic remarks that I was making earlier, those were deliberate. I was trying to draw them out, and it worked. Well,
Maybe you should take up architecture. It would seem safer.
Mrs. Muir, you're looking at a man with a cause. I am trying to expand the Department of Parapsychology at the university. Now, I've been mocked, laughed at, ridiculed, but my hour has come. I found enough evidence in this house to convince even the most skeptical of my superiors.
Evidence?
Well, yes, the pictures I took. You see, some of them are bound to show some ghostly manifestations. But what I'm really relying on is when the college board comes here and sees for itself tomorrow night. You see, at nighttime, ghosts...
Now, just a minute. I don't want you back here.
You would stand in the path of knowledge and of science?
Mr. Wilkie, I told you before, I need my privacy. I work here.
I see. Well, Mrs. Muir, the best way to guarantee your privacy is to allow me to return here tomorrow night with my superiors.
How does that guarantee my privacy?
Well, it'll keep me from calling the papers, and TV, and newsreels, and a bunch of busybodies who will just swarm up here on one word from me.
How quaint. We have a blackmailing parapsychologist.
I'll make a deal with you. You allow me to return tomorrow night with 2 members of the faculty, and that will be that. Otherwise, I'm afraid you're going to have a whole front porch swarming with newspaper men tomorrow morning.
Well, you don't offer me much choice, do you?
I hope not.
You might have knocked.
Madam, I am a ghost.
Rattle a chain or something. Had enough surprises for one day.
Slack off, Mrs. Muir. I rendered you a service this evening.
Just how did you do that?
I gave a sound thrashing to that Wilkie rascal. Cheap second-story man. He won't be back.
He's not a second-story man. He will be back, and with company.
What do you mean he'll be back? Didn't I give him enough of a beating?
It's because you gave him such a good beating that he's coming back. He investigates supernatural occurrences.
Madam, are you suggesting that I am responsible for the disruption of our lives?
I don't know who else is. If you'd behaved yourself, he might have gone away.
That wharf rat insulted me. You heard him. He called me eccentric and sour.
He might have added gullible. He said those things just to provoke you. And it worked.
Who was it allowed that creature into the house in the first place?
A natural mistake. He said he was a student of architecture.
Ah, and you talk about gullibility.
What was I supposed to do? Barricade the door? Come after him with a shotgun?
Pity those ideas didn't occur to you before now.
Captain Greg, you are becoming more and more irrational, irascible, and impossible.
And you, Mrs. Muir, are in grave danger of becoming an unmitigated... We're having a serious quarrel. This won't do.
I was just upset. I'm sorry.
That's better. I hope you don't expect a reciprocal apology. But let me say that sometimes, in the heat of anger, words pass that are ill-chosen and regrettable.
Well, it's been known to happen.
And as one's passions cool, one may feel a twinge of remorse.
That's reassuring.
But I will not apologize. Now, let's see. There is nothing we cannot take care of if we make up our minds to it. You say this Wilkie oaf intends to return?
Yes. He's bringing a group that he wants to convince tomorrow night.
Why at night?
Well, he says you're more active at night.
What does the fellow think I am? A blasted owl?
Now, don't go losing your temper again.
No, I'll save that until tomorrow night. And then...
No, you mustn't. That's just what he wants. Now, let me handle it.
You? Turn the helm over to you again when you've already driven us on the reefs?
Do you think that you could stop your nautical metaphors long enough to promise that you will remain absolutely quiet tomorrow night?
Madam, I will try to control myself. But I will not make any promises.
Gentlemen, the search is over. As Cortez sought El Dorado, as Galahad searched for the Holy Grail, I, too, have spent most of my life looking for something.
Too bad he's not looking for a psychiatrist. I know a good one.
And here, in Gull Cottage, I found it. Proof positive of psychic phenomena. In short, Mrs. Muir, a ghost.
You mean like those photographs you showed us?
Oh, those.
Oh, the ones you took yesterday? Oh, I'd love to see them.
Well, I didn't bring them.
I did.
Maybe your ghost wears black sheets, Mrs. Muir.
Well, there has to be a sound explanation as to why those pictures failed.
I'm sure there is an explanation.
Well, I don't need pictures. This house is rich in evidence, rich. Well, for example, this rug. Now, yesterday, a rug just like this flew out from under me. Well, watch. It'll rise up.
In The Thief of Baghdad, I think Douglas Fairbanks got his rug to fly by saying abracadabra.
Well, the ghost isn't responding, but he will. I can just sense his presence. I can feel him here in the room. There, by the window seat. There, did you see?
See what?
He pulled the rug out from under me.
Somebody should have done that years ago.
Wait, just all of you. Pool your concentration. We'll force the ghost to make a manifestation. Now, please, just try. Try. The vase. It rose.
Maybe it thinks it's a rug.
It'll happen again. Captain Craig, I command you to make this vase rise.
Now, look, Wilkie. This is the third wild goose chase you've brought us on in 2 years.
Really, Paul, there doesn't seem to be anything here that would warrant expanding your department.
Wait, maybe Mrs. Muir has some influence over him.
Oh, who, me? I hardly know the man.
Well, try to get through to him. Please, try to get him to speak to us. Please try.
All righty. Captain Gregg, speak to us. Captain Gregg, speak to us.
Try his answering service.
Shh. Mrs. Muir, go on.
Are you there, Captain Gregg? Captain Gregg, are you there?
He's coming through. He's coming through. That's him typing. All right, you see? There's nobody here. And something has been typed. It's a message. It's a message from the great beyond.
What does it say?
See spot run. Run spot run. Well, it doesn't matter what it says. The point is, it's an effort to reach us. Who else could have written this?
Here's a possibility. Good evening, young man.
This is my son, Jonathan.
Young man, are you responsible for the typing we just heard?
No! Oh, you didn't do it, did you?
Mommy, what happens if I tell a lie?
No dessert for 2 weeks.
No dessert for 2 weeks. Okay, I did it.
Why?
Wait. Maybe Captain Craig is working through the boy. He could be a medium. Son, are you a medium?
I think I'm a small.
Look! In the hallway! In the hallway! Look! Look! An actual visual manifestation. Now, do you believe me? Do you? Do you see the importance of my work? I mean, the whole fifth-dimensional world could be...
Hi.
What are you doing?
Pulling a string.
She's pulling a string. Now, as for what you're pulling, Wilkie...
Oh, no. I didn't put her up to this. No, there's something awfully wrong here. Listen.
Listen.
It's Captain Craig. Don't anybody move. No, keep back. He may be hostile.
He may also be a little girl. Hard tricks, honey.
Was I scary?
Mrs. Muir, I demand an explanation.
Gladly. Since you practiced deceit to get into my house, broke in again like a common burglar, and finally tried to blackmail me into doing what you wanted, I just thought I'd do something nice in return. So I had Martha and the children stage this little entertainment.
Jonathan. Just one curtain call.
Did you really do all those things Mrs. Muir accused you of, Paul?
Yes, sir. But there was really a very good reason.
Fine. You can tell me all about your good reason back at my office.
Our apologies, Mrs. Muir. He won't bother you again. Oh, but just for the record, did you ever see a ghost around here?
No, I've never seen a ghost around here.
That's what I figured. Good night.
Good night.
One last question, Mrs. Muir. Do you believe in ghosts?
Why, Professor, do I look like a woman who would believe in ghosts?
Good night.
My compliments, Mrs. Muir. You handled that situation very well indeed.
Thank you.
However,
However, what?
you did lie about never having seen a ghost. No dessert for 2 weeks. Yeah?